On this week's episode of The Pulse, get a look into how one Bridgeport church is fighting hunger and fueling education with innovative programs.
And learn about Sacred Heart's professor whose act of kindness sparked a journey from campus halls to Vatican walls.
I'm Jenna Reynolds.
And I'm Samantha Morano. These stories and more on Sacred Heart's very own monthly news program.
You're watching The Pulse.
From Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut, this is The Pulse.
The United Congregational Church in Bridgeport is tackling food insecurity and education with 4 life-changing programs, from the state's first nonprofit hydroponic farm to a mobile meal service feeding hundreds. This impact is undeniable. Chumani Hurd has the story.
In the heart of Bridgeport, where food insecurity is a daily struggle, Nourish Bridgeport stands as a beacon of hope. Founded in 2009, this nonprofit has spent years bringing the gap between need and nourishment. Through food, education, and health programs, they serve thousands, offering more than just meals, but dignity and opportunity.
We're a 501c3 charity that is food-centered, volunteer-powered, and community-anchored. We care about our neighbors in Bridgeport.
The Superfood Pantry feeds over 3,000 individuals every week, supplying fresh produce grown at Nourish's hydroponic farm.
I really love what I do because I grew up in Bridgeport, and I do know that there is a great need for food in the area. We have a lot of food insecurity and food inaccessibility because there's not a lot of grocery stores in the area, and a lot of people catch the bus or have one car per family. So it's nice that we are in the center of Bridgeport. We're like on the Bridgeport-Fairfield line here, and it's on the bus line, so it's easy to get to. I do feel like I'm making a difference because I'm also one that was a product of a food pantry. So I grew up in the projects, P.T. Barnum down the road, and we, my family also received food from a food pantry. So I know that was help for my mother. So I feel like I'm making a difference by being here at the food pantry and having all the relationships that we have.
Fresh produce isn't always easy to find in Bridgeport. Many neighborhoods here are considered food deserts, where affordable, healthy food is scarce.
So I decided we just grow it ourselves, and so we've done lots of help from other groups and organizations and foundations and individuals, but we created this indoor hydroponic farm. We have 5,000 square feet warehouse, and it grows the equivalent of 6 acres of land. It's a middle-sized farm in Connecticut. And we have a freight container, we have a flex acre wall, we have 24 fork farms and 2 big Dutch bucket systems, plus grow rack rigs for our herbs.
This produce doesn't just stock the pantry, it's distributed to Bridgeport Public Schools, other food pantries, and used in Nourish Bridgeport's community meals. Every Thursday, the Feel the Warmth program serves over 250 hot meals at Harrison Apartments, turning dinner into a moment of comfort and connection.
It's where we cook and then we take it downtown to people who are unhoused or subhoused, and we give them a hot meal plus a salad that we do from our indoor farm. And again, lots of warmth, coats and blankets and socks and hygiene kits. These are folks that live outside, and they need all the warmth they can get, both physically and emotionally.
Nourish offers English language and citizenship classes, helping new neighbors find their voice and build their futures.
There was a guy who was on his way to a graduation, and he was one of our pantry goers, and he came in and he didn't really speak English well, and he kept saying, I need help. And I'm like, what does he need help with in the middle of the pantry? And he pulled out a box, and he had a tie. And somehow I understood through his broken, Spanish and English, he said that he needed the tie done, but he didn't know how to do it. He had to go to a graduation. That really did something for me because he trusted us enough, the place where he comes to get his food, to also tie his tie. That meant a lot to me. And in the moment, because as you can see, we're very busy, you know, you don't really get to sit on those things. But then later that day I said, wow, you know, somebody came here for their tie. They didn't go to the next door neighbor. They didn't go, came here. So that, you know, made me feel good. We make them feel safe.
At Nourish Bridgeport, every meal, every class, every act of kindness is proof that change starts with the community. And as long as there is need, this mission will continue.
Not everyone gets to travel to Rome to meet the Pope, but a Sacred Heart professor did, where he won an award for community service and Catholic education. Corey Coy has the story.
For many college students, learning how to make a difference in your community can be as beneficial as the education you receive. Meet Professor Mark Congdon, who tries to share and instill this connection in his students on a daily basis. In 2021, Congdon launched the Uniting Hearts Service Initiative as a means of combining volunteer work with educational learning. Serving as a semester-long course project for communications majors, students involved in this program get connected to various community organizations in the greater Bridgeport region through the online platform GivePulse. Once connected, students then pick a local business or group and assist them with various hands-on and logistical operations. As an example of their service, students in the Uniting Hearts program came together to help promote civic engagement through a voting awareness campaign this past November. Since founding this project 4 years ago, Professor Congdon has seen hundreds of students take part in these initiatives to better their communities.
To me, I think this is what makes a liberal arts education, and this is the purpose, I would argue, of higher ed. It's not just developing a skill set, right? Like, yes, you're learning new knowledge and developing skills, but you're then learning how to apply that knowledge in more meaningful ways to make our world and our community more humane, more guided by love. So I think this is what really makes an education here different and impactful, is that you're not just learning these skills, but you're then learning how to apply those skills in a way that advances your community, that advances our humanity, and that centers love and light. By incorporating those tenets and those values in a PR and advertising writing class or campaign class, students then learn about not just the content of advertising and PR, but they understand how they can use the content we're learning for positive social change and social good that aligns with our mission.
Professor Congdon's efforts to build up the local community has not gone unnoticed. For his commitment and dedication to Catholic service learning, Congdon was invited to join a global symposium in Rome filled with educators and researchers from around the world. It was at this conference that he received the prestigious Uni Servitate Global Service Award for 2024. As an added incentive, Congdon also got to meet exclusively with Pope Francis, which turned out to be the experience of a lifetime.
It didn't feel like real, it was kind of like an out-of-body experience, because to me, like, it wasn't just like meeting anyone famous, but like what Pope Francis represents and even his missions and messages that he advocates for is really inspiring. And so I just remember like feeling so like electrified, and like after like we like clasped hands and we met, like I just felt like this I was consumed with like love and hope and joy that I like hadn't felt. Like, I think though, like in terms of being recognized, it's been awesome, but I think for me, like it really wouldn't have come to fruition if it wasn't for like the awesome work of the students. Like the Uniting Hearts Initiative really aspires to teach students how they can use relational and strategic communication for positive social change.
Students' continued participation in the Uniting Hearts campaign reflects the university's commitment towards making a positive difference in the global community and promoting social justice, as seen in the university's mission statement. This serves as a reminder that it is never too late to make a difference in your community. In Fairfield, Connecticut, Corey Coy, The Pulse.
Wow, what such an incredible experience for Professor Congdon.
Truly incredible. What an amazing impact he's making on his students and the SHU community.
When we get back, find out about Sacred Hearts dancers who packed their passion, pride, and plenty of footwork for spring break adventure in Dingle, Ireland.
And stay tuned for the Weekly Beat, where we keep our finger on the pulse of all things happening this week at Sacred Heart.
Bison are an ecosystem engineer. They fundamentally change an ecosystem. They exert this bottom-up influence. They accelerate nutrient cycling, which causes grasses and plants to regrow after being grazed.
What I think is cool about the Greater Yellowstone is that it's like a time machine. We all know this is special, because now it's really rare.
We need to do the best job possible for restoring our national mammal, and that's both reconnecting people and lands with bison. Power in the herd, power in numbers.
Welcome back to The Pulse. What better way to celebrate St. Patrick's Day than to hear from Sacred Heart's very own Irish dance team, the Claddagh Dancers. Over spring break, they took a trip to Dingle, Ireland for a week of dancing, culture, and celebration. Maura Staples has the story.
While others hit the beach, Sacred Heart University's Claddagh Dancers swap sunshine for shamrocks as they dance their way to Dingle. There, they immerse themselves in a week of culture, beauty, and of course, Irish dancing.
Being in Dingle is so great. It really just allows everyone on the team to feel that connection to their heritage that we all have and appreciate. And no matter where we come from, we just get to explore this amazing place and have a great time and enjoy it all together. It is really special to just be here, be immersed in the culture, see the beautiful sights that we get to see, that we don't see in our daily lives back home. I am trying not to take it for granted because I don't know the next time that I'll be back in Ireland. So I'm just trying to enjoy every moment of it and have a great time with my team.
From Gaelic lessons and feet blessings to baby lambs and horseback riding, the dancers fully embraced each moment. If you asked the dancers what this experience meant to them, they'd focus on one thing, the dancing. Throughout the week, they had the chance to work with and learn from former river dance professionals Tomas O'Shea and Niamh O'Brien, who taught them a thing or two about this incredible tradition of Irish dancing.
The inspiration was, I suppose, to do something different that the dancers probably hadn't experienced before. Coming to West Kerry, a lot of the tradition around West Kerry is the old style dancing and the kind of polka brush dance style. So I wanted to incorporate that into the routine, but also to modernize it. So the mix of the Irish dancing and the old style of Irish dancing, and add a bit of fun in with the brushes when they're hopping from one brush to the other brush and doing a tricky part where they put the leg over the brush and not let the brush drop. So there was a few tricky moments for the dancers to achieve in the routine, but they absolutely excelled in every single part of it. It was unbelievable dancing with them and choreographing the piece with them and working with them. Their dedication and their passion was very, very evident for Irish dancing throughout the whole week, and we really, really enjoyed it.
While the dancers enjoyed all the tacky tourist fun, for them this trip was more than a vacation. It was a chance to live out a childhood dream, and their performance at the end of the week was their way of showing how much this experience truly meant to them.
Ever since I was a little girl, I saw Riverdance, for the first time. It's oh my gosh, that's really, what I want to do. I want to Irish dance. I've been dancing for, 13 years now. So, getting to, work with people that have actually been in Riverdance, what got me into Irish dancing in the first place is, crazy. And, if you told me that, years ago, I'd be no, you're joking. There's no way. But I don't know. It's, I'll never forget this experience.
An unforgettable experience. For these dancers, there's no better way to celebrate their love of dance than by going back to where it all started. If you'd like to see the Claddagh Dancers for yourself, come to their spring showcase on April 11th in the Edgerton Center. Tickets are on sale now. From Dingle, happy St. Patrick's Day. For The Pulse, Maura Staples, Dingle.
With so much going on at Sacred Heart, you won't want to skip a beat. Now let's toss it over to senior producer Molly Bruton with the Weekly Beat.
Thanks, Jenna. I'm Molly Bruton, and I'm here to bring you the luck of the Irish and keep you up to speed with this week's events right here at Sacred Heart. To kick off the week, join Set for their St. Patty's party at the Linda's Fireplace on Monday, March 17th at 3 p.m. Come celebrate with friends and get in the festive spirit. On Tuesday, Set will also be hosting their Lucky Charm event at 11 a.m. at the Linda's Fireplace. Head on over, create a keychain charm, and enjoy some festive Lucky Charms Rice Krispies. On Wednesday, don't miss the Thrift With Me student pop-up at 11:30 a.m. at the Linda's Fireplace. This event will be a fundraiser for the SHU dance program, so come stop by and support a great cause. Want to test your luck? Later on Wednesday, head over to the Edgerton for Set's Bingo Night at 9:30 p.m. Bring your friends and play for a chance to win some awesome prizes. The Sisters of Omega Phi Beta will host a Pi Beta event called Pastel Las Betas on Thursday from 2 to 4 p.m. on Chapel Quad. The event is open to all and anyone can come meet the betas and pie them. Also on Thursday at 2 p.m., the women's softball team faces Fairleigh Dickinson University in a doubleheader at home. Come on out to Pioneer Park and show your support. That same night at 7:30, head on over to West Campus East Theater to meet Eugene Sung, experienced Chief Financial Officer who has worked across multiple industries, including technology, advertising, media, sports, and entertainment. She will be coming to the Welch College of Business and Technology to give advice to students, answer questions, and more. The St. Patty's celebrations continue on Friday between 5 and 8:30 p.m. at a Set Stuff the Lamb. Teleport to Ireland with Set by stuffing your lamb plush and learning about studying abroad in Dingle. Finally, on Friday at 7 p.m., we're wishing all the luck to the women's soccer team as they take on the University of Bridgeport at the Park Avenue Field. You do not want to miss this. That's all we have for this week's Weekly Beat. Stay up to date on all things Sacred Heart by following us on social media at The Pulse SHU. For the Weekly Beat, I'm Molly Bruton. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Molly. When we get back, we'll throw you a pass to the basketball player who's turned her game into a winning story here at Sacred Heart.
And to get the play-by-play on Sacred Heart Sports. The pursuit of truth and knowledge.
Recognition of dignity and worth of every human being.
Promotion of the common good of society.
We're always evolving. Your passions should always change, right? Not to say that you should throw away your old passion. You know, they root you, they make you who you are. If I ever want to progress in life, I know that I have to learn new things, be understanding of different cultures, different backgrounds, different interests.
The lessons I learn at Sacred Heart can help me make a meaningful impact that it will lead me to do work that is good for every single person in the world.
I'm drawn to writing socially impactful pieces because theater, it speaks to broad audiences. They can learn from the piece, or they might sit there and say, I've been through that. Even if it's just one person, I feel like then it was a successful piece.
You are not only going to learn from other students, but you're going to learn about yourself.
I was always asking why, and I saw that with molecular and cellular biology, you go to the smallest detail of that why. In my future path, I hope to answer more of those whys.
Welcome back to The Pulse. Ny'Ceara Pryor has made a name for herself here at Sacred Heart University, not just for her talent on the basketball court, but for her heart she brings to everything she does. Once known as Little Mama, now they call her MVP. Jenna Reynolds has the story.
That'll do it. Sacred Hearts going back to the dance. Let the party begin.
Don't hurt Little Mama. Don't hurt Little Mama.
It's easy to cheer for the wins and to admire the highlights, but greatness is not given, it's earned. And Ny'Ceara Pryor is the living embodiment of outworking the odds and earning her success. And Pryor was determined from the start.
I really want a ring. I get a banner. Maybe get a banner in a couple years. So
maybe get a banner in a couple years. And Ny'Ceara got her wish. Multiple banners hang because of her talent. But greatness isn't just about talent, it's about heart. And Ny'Ceara Pryor puts her heart into everything she does on and off the court.
Baltimore itself is we just so aggressive when we play. We play with energy, we play with that fight, we play with that grit. And I think just growing up in Baltimore, you want to get it, any way possible.
It was Ny'Ceara's father who put the battery in her back to play the game of basketball. And for 4 years, she shared the court with boys, shaping the competitor she is today. And in 4th grade, she told her coach, "I want to go to the NBA." But not everyone believed in Ny'Ceara the way she believed in herself.
A lot of people tell me that you weren't cut out, you know. You shouldn't play D1 basketball because you're so short. You'll never succeed because you're so short. You have to do all these other things to be successful. And the fact that I proved everyone wrong and I'm still, you know, accomplishing so much, it's just, to me, it just doesn't surprise me because I know the work that I put in, but also I'm just so grateful. You know?
In her first year as a Pioneer, Pryor made history. She became the first player in the NEC to be named Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and Rookie of the Year in the same season.
I wanted to, you know, win on the highest level that I've ever played at, and I've won twice. I went to the NCAA tournament twice. I was, you know, the tournament MVP for the NEC twice. I was Player of the Year for the NEC twice.
And the list doesn't end there. Sole captain since her freshman year, Pryor's drive extends far beyond the game of basketball. When she's not leading on the court, you can find her balancing shifts as a waitress at JP's Diner on campus, proving that hard work never stops.
And you said shredded cheese as well? Wait. With the chocolate chip pancakes? Yeah.
I really just like, you know, I like the hustle. Back at home, I literally worked at McDonald's, and then I had basketball, and then I had my school, and then I had AAU, so it was just all over the place, but I knew how to balance, you know.
And balancing her philanthropic work, Ny'Ceara held her second annual backpack drive last summer, supplying over 500 backpacks to her very own Baltimore community.
Hey everyone, I'm Ny'Ceara Pryor. I'm Miss Pryor. Thank you for coming to this event. We are here. I'm ready to go.
Inspired by her mother's work as a teacher, Ny'Ceara said she also wants to be an educator. Her dream is to change lives through education, which she already is. And she even started a basketball camp.
I love seeing people smile when it comes to basketball or just, you know, giving back in general.
It's easy to recognize Ny'Ceara Pryor as a basketball star because she is, but her impact goes beyond the court. With a heart just as big as her talent, her love for the game and those around her extends far beyond the scoreboard. I'm Jenna Reynolds, reporting from Fairfield, Connecticut for The Pulse.
As the temperature begins to rise, so does the action on the field. Here's our very own Jake Walsh with this week's Sports Roundup.
Thanks, Jenna. With students returning from spring break, the Sacred Heart University athletes have not stopped and have been playing all break, as their playoff seasons are right around the corner. Congratulations to the women's ice hockey team on winning the New Hot tournament. This allowed them to punch their ticket to the NCAA Women's Ice Hockey Tournament. Over the weekend, they played in Ithaca, New York against the University of Minnesota Duluth and lost. Congratulations on a great season. Men's ice hockey played in the Atlantic Hockey America Tournament. After a 3-game series against Air Force in the quarterfinals, where the Pioneers took a 2-1 series lead, over the weekend they played in the semifinals against Bentley University. The Pioneers took a tough loss to Bentley University, but finished the season 21-11-5. Sacred Heart women's basketball season just ended. This was their first season in the MAC, and the Pioneers finished 9-20. They finished their season last weekend at home with a huge win over Iona. Congratulations to Ny'Ceara Pryor on being named the MAC Defensive Player of the Year, as well as making the All-MAC second team in her junior season. Men's basketball wrapped up their season with a record of 14-17. They made their debut in the MAC championship over the weekend and finished their season with a tough loss in Atlantic City to Merrimack. Now that the spring weather is starting to come around, both baseball and softball seasons are heating up. The Pioneers softball team will play a doubleheader against Fairleigh Dickinson University at home on Thursday, and then wrap up the week on the road in New Jersey against Rider. Baseball had their home opener over the weekend against St. Peter's, and are back on the road for one game against Boston College on Tuesday. They will finish the week off with a 3-game series at home against Manhattan. Don't want to miss any of your favorite Pioneer sports? Check out Sacred Heart's new streaming service, Pioneers Plus. A great way to keep up with some of your favorite SHU sports teams and keep up with all the action. That's all for this week on SHU Sports Roundup. I'm Jake Walsh. Back to you guys.
Sam, nothing says spring like baseball.
I agree. I'm also looking forward to catching one of those women's softball games this spring.
Me too. When we come back, Find out how a SHU alumnus brings the Hartford Whalers legacy back to life, nearly 30 years later.
And find out why Main Street Creamery is on the top scoop for SHU students, dishing out sweet specials after dark.
A flyway is like a superhighway for birds. It's an area where huge numbers of birds move from one place to another in migration.
People often think of migrations with terrestrial animals, but those are much smaller migrations than what birds do. Birds literally move across the whole earth.
They're great indicators of how our environment is doing. I always talk about the canary in the coal mine.
Stopover habitat is disappearing faster and faster. The birds are finding fewer and fewer places that they can stop in, and that's leading to a decrease in the populations of many of these migrant birds.
Apex predators are important in regulating habitats that the birds need both in migration and in breeding.
Even though you might not see wolves out there predating on, say, the snow geese, they're still such an integral part of this entire ecosystem in this landscape. We know this is wild up here.
What started as a film about birds has totally metamorphosized into a project about how birds connect our environments. They truly create the flyway of life.
Welcome back to The Pulse. Almost 30 years after Connecticut's only major league team left the state, SHU alumnus Pat Pickens dove into the legacy that the Hartford Whalers left. Madison Beekman has the story.
They have played 1,420 in the National Hockey League. And now 20 minutes. That's all that's left.
The Hartford Whalers are a household name for pretty much anyone in Connecticut. But the legacy of the team is a story that SHU alumnus Pat Pickens was fascinated by, leading him to write a book and co-direct a documentary on the team. Pickens started covering hockey for SHU's Spectrum newspaper, and after graduating in 2007, he continued hockey writing until his professional career stagnated.
I just needed some way to get out of that situation. And so I started writing the book mainly to network. It took off from there, and I started learning about the history of the sport. And then once I dug into the story, I noticed this really incredible narrative arc of, this tiny little American team got into the NHL, the WHA merger, and then they left. But yet here they are still sort of alive.
After the book was published, Dr. Andrew Miller, the director of SHU's Sports Communication and Media Graduate Program, encouraged Pat to turn it into a documentary with the help of the School of Communication, Media, and the Arts. They started by shooting 4 interviews on campus, including one with the graphic designer who created the Whalers logo.
So the beginning of the project really started with that first shoot that we did here, and that was a great sort of launching point because not only could we produce some material that actually is made into the film, but also it's a learning experience for our students.
The next big step came when SCMA received donor funding and was deciding what to put the money towards.
I talked with people at the school, and we were like, oh, this would be a great project because not only do we have an alumni involved and faculty that's been working on it, but then we could actually build in a little more continuity with students working at it.
I was sort of inspired by I don't know that I can do this, but let's give it a shot. And what's happened over the last 4 years, and then obviously when Sacred Heart came on as our partner and the SCMA program as our partner, has been really exciting and really inspiring.
After over 3 years of work, the film's first premiere was held in Hartford this past January.
There was a celebration of 50 years of Hartford hockey, and we screened the first draft there, and the audience loved it, which was good because it was an audience basically filled with Whalers fans, so that could have gone one or two ways, right? Either they're going to love it because it's all about the Whalers, and that was what it was, or they're going to say that this is awful because they love the Whalers and they didn't like the movie. So they did really enjoy it.
The reception has been phenomenal. We've done it a couple times now, and the reception's been phenomenal every time.
Bringing a screening to the SHU Community Theater was important to both Pat and SCMA.
It is a tremendous success of the program that we have people like Pat, but not just because Pat is successful in his job, but because he's coming back.
But this, gives me an excuse to come back and feel like I'm a part of the community rather than just, I came here, I went on with my life, just again to give back to the students and to the community where I did it and my partner did it and the crew did it, but like everybody from Sacred Heart could just be like, yeah, we did that.
The documentary is still in its final editing stages, and the plan is to bring it to television. For now, Pat shared his final thoughts on the story and the Whalers' legacy.
Who does it continue to be? I think it still continues to be for the people of Connecticut. The people who supported it did, and I think they are still the people that are the team because they're still a booster club. They're still fans. They represent the team still, even though it's unlikely Hartford will be a major league city again. We definitely covered the legacy piece of the film. And I think the coolest thing about this story is there's not one thing. It's not like, you can't just pinpoint and say, this is the one thing. This is the one reason that this happened. It's pretty complex, and that's life. So
For now, Connecticut's hockey fans will have to be satisfied with college hockey, like right here at Sacred Heart University's Prairie Family Arena. Reporting for The Pulse, Fairfield, Connecticut, Madison Beekman.
For many SHU students just like me, a late-night ice cream run is a must, and Main Street Creamery is making it even sweeter with exclusive student discounts and specials. Here's Julia Ciora with the scoop.
Located right on Main Street, only a few minutes from campus, stands Main Street Creamery, a popular spot which has been serving up delicious homemade ice cream for over 21 years. Main Street Creamery isn't just known for its variety of flavors and signature milkshakes. It's also becoming a go-to spot for SHU students to hang out and enjoy a sweet treat after long hours of studying. Students can enjoy a discount on their favorite treats just by showing their SHU ID. I spoke with an employee from Main Street Creamery to learn more about this special offer.
The discount, so I know every student gets 10% off their entire order purchase, and
The Creamery isn't just great because of its discounts. Sacred Heart's very own Greek life organizations also partner with the Creamery to host fundraising events which bring students together while indulging in their favorite desserts. These partnerships not only help support student organizations, but also strengthen the connection between SHU and the local businesses in the Bridgeport area. When it comes to options, the Creamery certainly doesn't disappoint. From classic cups and cones to sundaes, custom cakes, smoothies, and even churros dipped in chocolate sauce, the Creamery has an endless amount of options to satisfy anyone's late-night cravings or midday pick-me-ups. Whether you're looking for a sweet treat, a way to support a local business, or even a school organization, Main Street Creamery has something for everyone. Be sure to stop by, show your SHU ID, and keep an eye out for upcoming events. For The Pulse, this is Julia Ciora, Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Sam, I do love Main Street Creamery. Kind of boring. I tend to lean towards the classic, vanilla and chocolate. What's your favorite flavor?
Honestly, Jenna, anything chocolate is my way to go.
Love it, Sam. Well, that's all we have for you today.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in next time. I'm Samantha Morano.
And I'm Jenna Reynolds. We'll see you next time on The Pulse.